Alright, so what we're doing here right now is, now that I have two computers that actually work, um, although the one that I'm recording on right now is old as hell by comparison. I mean, it's been through the ringer. This thing has been through car accidents. It's been through multiple arrests. It's been through multiple property and evidence rooms. It's been everywhere. All right, we're gonna start off with Waylon Lolatai. Oh shit! It says I gotta sign in to confirm my age, and I don't remember my YouTube password. This one it's automatic, so it's the first thing I forget when I'm having a panic attack is names and numbers. I have to change my passwords a lot, and that makes it complicated. I need to write them all down in one place, but I've done that. I just all the moving and all the pieces of paper and all the jumping through everybody's hoops. I mean, there's no way that I can. Holy shit! And then there's the hackers, and they're probably the worst. Let me see. There's got to be another one around here. Ah, here it is.
Sir, stand for that. What did I do? You're too close for my investigation.
All right, this is about Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. This is Sammy's assault. Sammy's a douchebag to me. He really is. He's disabled as well, and he wanted me to understand his disabilities, but made zero attempts to understand mine. He was a douchebag, but that don't make him wrong.
We're back to your investigation. You just want to be a bully. Where'd you beat about that? Hey, just go on that way. Just go that way. Nah, man, I go.
All right, I'm gonna explain for you for a moment. Yes, there's some black folks there. There's some white folks there. Some of them white folks kind of sound like black folks because of the way they talking. But the fact is, it's a mixed group, not a mixed group of people in houses, though. It's a mixed group of homeless people. See, that's the homeless community. You could be black, you could be white, you could be an immigrant, you could be native born, you could be a male, you could be a female. I mean, it don't matter. Human is fucking human, and any human can hit rock bottom.
Walking, stand wearing my shoes. Hey. It ain't against the law.
Hey, look at me. Hear me for a second. Look at me. Catch me.
Since when it's against the law to walk up and stand somewhere?
Hey, come on, man.
I'm just trying to be a bully, dog.
I know. That's okay. We only want one person to be dealing with it, not a couple or multiple. I don't want more people dealing with it. There's only one person.
Now that's Samuel Leon Lawrence IV who's talking to him, not an officer.
Person addressing it right now. So I'm here right now with.
He's about, I judge to say, about 10 to 15 feet away from Officer Lolatai, maybe a little bit more. He has to, by law, maintain at least an 8-foot distance.
These wonderful citizens that right now have their belongings over here. This officer, who I'm keeping down below so I can respect his privacy, is now asking me to not only put my walking aid down because of the fact that I'm standing here recording this issue of him saying that these people are littering. They literally have their stuff out here eating and enjoying the day as normal citizens normally do in any sort of city.
I'm not seeing any litter. None. I'm not seeing a single piece of litter anywhere. Everything that they're using is within arm's reach. It's not wrappers blowing around. Their drinks are half full. That's obviously not litter. They're still using it.
city in the United States.
This guy's one of them violent types, I imagine.
Ah, Wayland Lolotai. I guess they're not going to show the actual assault. Oh, yeah, that's because then you have to sign in. So this is the PG version. I think on my actual phone, I might be able to bring this up because this is important. This is really the first one I should be playing. Just because I want to keep it linear. I mean, it started somewhere, and in my last video that I made, I played a clip from Clearview Behavioral Health, and I really should have started with this one from Lolotai. Also, I should have kind of figured that I'd have to. There it is. I'd have to do the whole sign-in thing. I mean, that's stuff that a lot of people they don't think of when you've had 10,000 things go on in the last fucking month, and you're trying to remember shit that happened a year ago. That ain't exactly easy. I tried to document the best I could as it happened, and I guess my phone here's got to turn on. A lot of these situations that involved Wayland Lolotai, had there not been sound on the recordings, well, Wayland Lolotai would have gotten away with everything completely scot-free. By the way, he did. He transferred from Boulder, Colorado to Aurora, Colorado, and is apparently, again, seeking employment as an officer. I told on this guy, but you guys were busy calling me schizophrenic. Or mentally ill and loosely interpreting it as schizophrenic. They did all this by public opinion, every fucking bit of it. Let's see. Sorry, my phone turned off, so I'm trying to go through the loading thing and be coming back on. Let's see. All right, youtube.com. All right. Wayland Lolotai. This is called Officer Lolotai's Greatest Hits. And it's graphic. It's the one you got to sign in for. Thank goodness my phone automatically signs in as well. All right, hold on a second. Why is it not pausing? All right. Investigation with the Denver Sheriff's Department. There's no audio, but it appears. Pause. Sorry, once the phone gets distracted. Investigation with the Denver Sheriff's Department. There's no audio, but it appears an inmate said something Lolotai did not like, and in moments he's pushing the inmate backwards against a set of stairs. Multiple deputies rush in to assist. For a year and a half, Internal Affairs made no public decision about Lolotai's conduct. Instead, he was allowed to quit in June of 2016. Then he went to Boulder and assaulted me. Step back! Step back! Stay away from us! Stay away from us! Step back! Stay over there! I need protection from you guys. Every homeless people needs protection from them. This is Michelle Rodriguez. When she finally got into housing after this incident, mind you, all of these instances, except for the one that happened at the Denver Sheriff's Department or whatever, All of these happened after the assault by me, that I was repeatedly illegally prevented from making a report against him over and over and over. For the first 7+ months, I didn't even know the name of my assailant, despite the fact that I had been asking since he was assaulting me. These officers did the same thing that they tried pulling with Zaid Atkinson and Samuel Leon Lawrence IV. Tried claiming that I had a weapon. I didn't have a walking stick. I didn't have a little trash grabber. I had nothing. All right, so now we'll go to Clearview Behavioral Health. And yeah, I know I only played part of that.
With a Wells Fargo checking account, you can bank without missing a beat.
Mind you, during this, I want you to pay attention to the dates where they're claiming these things happened, because I did speak up, and I have evidence that I spoke up long before they ever did, by almost a year.
Insiders are calling it an historic move, nearly 2 years after.
By the way, this is where I was sent when I tried to turn in Lola Tai. They wanted to make sure that I was out of jurisdiction, because Clearview is the next county over. This is one of the tactics that police try to use if you're alone, especially if you're homeless. If you try to turn in a police officer, they send you to a different county. This is protocol nationwide. This is what police officers are actually trained to do. They're trained how to not get sued, how to pick their victims, and how to pick victims they can get away with. Police officers, literally, police academy is training them how to be a predator. And I don't know how to get across to you guys how disgusting that is.
Denver 7 investigates first exposed problems with patient care inside Clearview Behavioral Health. The state suspended its license and shut it down.
We've aired more than a dozen reports exposing critical failures behind closed doors at Clearview, including accusations of Medicare and Medicaid fraud, holding patients longer than medically necessary, even accusations of staff stealing from patients.
And we've uncovered the death of a father of 2 who was given powerful drugs and left unattended. Chief Investigator Tony Kovaleski has been uncovering the truth.
Now, does that sound like I'm schizophrenic? Did I just imagine them saying those things about the very facility that I was in? Very same exact fucking staff members, no doubt. And that's true. They're in those fucking pictures. I can see them with my own 2 goddamn eyes.
Since January 2019. Tony, this started with 1 dad, 1 patient.
And 1 phone.
Since January of 2019. Where was I in January of 2018? When did I start speaking out? When did I start making phone calls? One person with 1 phone call. No, 1 person who people care about. 1 person who people give a shit about. These people are also called mentally ill. It's just as illegal. I told you it is just as illegal to do this to someone who is called mentally ill. But the difference is it me making the phone call, or is someone making it with me? Is it this father here in January 2019? Did my father make any phone calls with me when I was assaulted? No. By the way, most of these people have already had cash payouts, and some of them, their cash payouts prevent them from being allowed to speak about their situations. If they speak up, then they get to get sued for the money that they were paid to shut up about the abuse that they endured. The abuse that I've endured at the hands of Clearview, the Bollinger family, and the police. I'm telling you, these facilities, specifically by name, These officers, specifically by name, look at how many laws they're breaking and how they're getting away with it. There's another one over here where the people in it I can recognize from the facility. One of them is actually in one of the videos that I'm in.
Phone call, Ann. His son was being kept inside against the family's wishes longer than they wanted. He started the story. Dozens of others called with other even more disturbing complaints, all describing Clearview as a business focused on profit and not patients.
The problem is that the bullshit from those officers, the fact that I wasn't listened, not only allowed Waylon Lolatai to continue to do those things to others, but it allowed their obstruction of justice to go overlooked. It allowed the illegal things that they had done in order to try to frame me and to make me a target of the general public to go overlooked. It made me a further target for the public. And as you can tell, even though I was the first one assaulted in Boulder County, and I was the first one who spoke out, these guys didn't say a goddamn thing about me, did they? No, because then we got to bring up how Denver 7 painted me when Natalie died. That's right. They didn't forget about me. They still treat me like shit. They tell me that I'm guilty, that they don't owe it to me to fucking watch my shit, blah, blah, blah. That I should have sent it to them sooner. Meanwhile, all of the shit that I've been through has prevented me from doing these things. I need help in person. I am overwhelmed. I can't possibly function through all of this. There is no possible way. I don't sleep because I am having a constant panic attack about the abuse that I have to go through because I don't have the right to defend myself. My right to defend myself was taken away when I was 4 years old. 4. Sorry, I take that back. I went into the system when I was 4. My rights to defend myself were taken away when I was 6. Thank you very much for that, Dad. Thank you very much for that, Mom. Then, every officer I got to deal with after that, they ain't too nice. They all give me the mentally ill treatment anyway. If you're homeless, you're just going to automatically get treated like you're mentally ill. Like you don't matter. Like, if you're trying to turn in a crime, that you must be the criminal. Or it must not have happened. Or you just don't matter enough to fucking investigate. The cops don't fucking care if you freeze to death. They will come and take your blanket from you and give you a fucking ticket that'll cost you over $400 and 60 hours of community service, knowing that without that blanket, you could possibly fucking freeze to death tomorrow. We're not human beings to you.
There was an immediate threat to life and limb.
And that's why the state took the most serious action possible.
When we entered the facility, we immediately identified significant violations.
And this video confirms the concerns discovered by the state. Our cameras rolled as patients were removed from the facility. The decision came just a few days after the state conducted a surprise inspection. It came after inspectors got a clear view of what was happening inside. Problems so significant, the state made the decision to close Clearview.
Effective today, they are no longer in operation.
The move follows months of complaints from patients, family members, current and former employees, all asking the state to hold the owners of Clearview accountable.
Are you saying that they billed for services they didn't provide?
Correct. Especially group therapy sessions.
Who's making the decision on discharges? Is it the medical professionals or the money managers, the administrators?
The administrators that are making the decision, and nobody says anything.
What does that say to you?
That it's all wrong.
2 insiders have said to us that this man, this father, didn't deserve to die.
No, he did not.
If he were better cared for, would he be alive today?
Certainly more than likely.
Denver 7 has confirmed a former employee filed a complaint that sparked the most recent unannounced visit. His accusations included fraud and violating patient rights.
This organization was not able to operate the facility in a safe and appropriate manner on an ongoing basis.
Has the state ever done this before?
No, Tony, at least in my 17 years here at CDPHE, we have never closed a behavioral health hospital.
Now, the state also telling us they found a lack of infection protection for COVID-19 in the facility during its inspection last week. We reached out to Clearview for a comment. We identified ourselves on the phone. The call taker hung up. Attorney General will now continue the investigation and the process of officially closing Clearview.
A newly released state report is detailing more problems behind the doors at Clearview Behavioral Health.
Contact 7 Investigates broke this story, continues to hold the state and this mental health facility accountable.
And Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kowaleski back tonight. And Tony, this is now on the Attorney General's radar.
And he's sending a strong message. The state slapped Clearview with.
That's Tony Kowaleski again. We'll skip that one.
That was body cam video from
This
last
is also
July.
Tony Kowaleski.
Here is Boulder Police Officer Waylon Lolatai. Now, here's witness video from a different angle, showing Kelly Clark with her hands behind her back. And here's cell phone video from one more angle. You don't see the shove, but you do see Boulder Police arresting her. That shove is why Kelly Clark sought out Clark's head barely just hitting the light pole.
There's no question she was not posing any form of a threat.
Clark was arrested for obstructing a peace officer, a charge prosecutors later dismissed.
It's just such obvious misconduct. There's no question about it.
The lawsuit says Boulder should have never hired Lolatai in the first place, largely because this shove is remarkably similar to another shove when Lolatai was a Denver sheriff deputy in December of 2014.
Boulder knew all of that.
They always forget about me.
That's how we want policing Boulder. So Boulder is ultimately responsible for the absolute natural consequence of hiring a bad cop.
The Denver sheriff
They
put Lolatai
exclusively
under
hire
investigation
bad
for
cops.
18 months, but never reached a conclusion. Still, at Lolatai's disciplinary hearing, his own attorney was expecting a punishment.
And we're here today because he's been disciplined for a violation of Rule Regulation 300.22, inappropriate use of force.
But Denver did not discipline Lolatai. Instead, he quit 2 weeks later. A month later, he starts with Boulder Police.
So if I quit,
There he's seen on body cam arresting a
then it makes it
homeless
okay
woman
for
named
me to hurt you?
Rodriguez.
That is so fucked up.
She took out her cell phone to call for a police supervisor because she thought cops were harassing her.
They were. I asked for the supervisor repeatedly. I was laughed at and fucking assaulted. I was put in the fucking hole. I was strapped to a goddamn chair while officers tried to fucking yank my goddamn head off by my ears. Like Jesus goddamn Christ.
2 days ago, a Boulder jury acquitted Rodriguez for obstructing a peace officer.
You sit back, man.
And then there's the Sammy Lawrence
By
case.
the way, you see this dragon staff. You see the little thing on the very bottom, that rubber thing. That's called a walking aid legally by ADA law.
Sammy was videotaping Officer Lolatai because he felt the officer was harassing homeless.
All right, you notice he was trying to explain it, but he was stumbling on his words. He's got some issues with being overwhelmed. I mean, at this point, he is scared. His words aren't coming together right. Who else do we know who's got that issue? Oh, yeah, that's right. If I got fucking 8 people all up in my grill, all fucking shoving me and cursing at me, like, fuck, no, my words ain't gonna come together right. You fucking kidding me? And you think you get to use that against me later? No, I'm fucking backed into a corner. My words aren't gonna come out properly. I mean, whose are gonna come out prim and proper and perfect under this scenario? This dude is scared shitless. Also, I'm looking at the two faces here, and they're trying to say, here's the thing that Darren O'Connor was trying to push. He was trying to push that all of these were racially profiled. And I'm looking at the picture of Sammy Leon Lawrence IV, and I'm looking at the picture of Waylon Lolotai. They're right next to each other. Waylon Lolotai is a lot darker than the black man that he's supposed to be racially profiling. Hold on a second here. Now, who is it that Sammy Leon Lawrence IV is filming? He's filming some homeless people. He's filming homeless people eating fucking lunch. Oh yeah, it's illegal to eat lunch in Boulder. I fucking forgot. It's illegal to be homeless in Boulder. They will make any fucking excuse. Any excuse. They specifically hired Lolotai likely because Steinman couldn't do a lot of this shit that he does to white people, to black people. It is very likely that they hired Waylon Lolotai so that he could run around and do all of that fucking profiling thing that they do to the homeless, so that he could do it to black homeless people without those black homeless people possibly getting the attention of BLM. Now, Sammy Leon Lawrence IV almost caught the attention of BLM. Almost. Problem is, he's sticking up for fucking homeless people. That right there is like giving him 3 strikes off the bat. Yeah, Sammy was a fucking douche to me, but he wasn't wrong in this scenario.
People.
You are harassing me. Get off of me. This is my walking and you took the walking off of me.
They literally yanked the fucking walking stick out of his hand. Obviously, he wasn't wielding it. He wasn't swinging it at them. He wasn't nothing. He did have something in his hands. It's a fucking walking stick. They were looking for an excuse to harm someone. That's what they wanted. They wanted to retaliate against him for recording them harassing the homeless. They couldn't retaliate against the ones in Zaid Atkinson's situation, the ones who were recording it from inside of the house. Why is that? Because they got a house. Sammy Leon Lawrence IV, just like Zaid Atkinson, looked homeless. Sammy Leon Lawrence IV was actually hanging out with homeless people at the time. This is standard procedure for homeless people. Standard procedure, not just in Boulder.
Fired, or at a bare minimum needs to have absolutely no contact with the public. That he has shown time and time again that he cannot interact with the public without resorting to violence and without resorting to unjustified violence.
Exactly. But the other thing is, look at how many officers fucking covered for him. When he assaulted me, I was assaulted by a lot more officers that night on my way to my pen. They sheltered Lolotai so I couldn't see his badge number. They outright lied and claimed that I tried to bite them. They claimed that I tried to assault them with a weapon. They did not allow their body cameras in my court date. And when I insisted, they dropped the charges because they already had, well, you guys listened to that about Clearview earlier. They already had a better framed job at Clearview. That is all it takes, folks. That is all it takes to take away all of your rights for the rest of your life. That is all it takes with Waylon Lolotai and what he did. That is all it takes to make you a victim of police for the rest of your life. With what they did at Clearview, that is all it takes for police and any other predator who chooses to do so to get away with committing any crime that they want to against me for the rest of my life. It's only wrong if they do it to someone else. Isn't that correct? It's only wrong if they do it to a black person. It's only wrong if they do it to a woman. It's only wrong if they do it to an immigrant. If you do it to a white male, they must deserve it. That's always the excuse. It's all white people's fault, all white males' fault. Man, we don't get listened to. Are you kidding me? You got to have money to get listened to. Now, I told y'all that 17 of the places that I stayed were on the news. All right, this one right here, Sally Treons. Since nobody that I knew in person could take me in, and the assault by Waylon Lolotai prevented me from coming up here to chapel, where I could have possibly been able to defend myself. Instead, I went to Pueblo.
New details revealed today in the death of a 10-week-old Pueblo West baby and the arrest of his mother over the weekend. Bill Folsom sat in today for the advisement of 24-year-old Jenny Gatlin, who's facing these child abuse charges. He's back from the...
Jenny Gatlin was pregnant with her son while I was at Sally Treons. She's a meth addict. She was not the meth addict who grabbed Sally Treons' daughter, grabbed her through the house and kicked her in the face, though. That was an old lady who was living in a shed out back. I told you about this woman. 17 of the places that I've been.
From the Pueblo courthouse in our studio. Bill.
Gatlin was just arrested after a week of investigation. The baby boy died December 29th. A release from the sheriff's office says an autopsy shows he died
the day
from
after Natalie.
Malnutrition. Gatlin appeared for video advisement today with a public defender. Close to a dozen family members sat in, and many of them were visibly upset when the judge said because of the seriousness of the charges, bond is $200,000.
She killed her baby, and her family showed up. Who showed up at mine? I'm glad for the few that did. I can tell you which court dates who went with me. I also recorded their conversations with me about those situations, like Steve Tomlinson. But he didn't know nothing about my case. He was, however, a witness to the fact that although I had evidence that showed that the narrative they were selling was bullshit, my public pretender wasn't going to see it.
Her attorney asked for $10,000 bond because of information in the affidavit from a doctor. The attorney says the doctor didn't see indication that the malnutrition was inflicted on purpose. What was known by the mother, well, that is in question. Courts are being cautious with the affidavit because it contains information about children and medical records. More details will come through this week as the sensitivity of information is evaluated and when Gatlin is back in court Thursday.
All right. Next one. Let's see. Overcrowding at the Boulder jail, huh? Here's one for you. Two of these officers that I was trying to turn in right here.
Boulder County Sheriff Joe Pelley saw the video for himself. He knew he had to act.
The next business day after the incident, I observed the video from the jail van and body cameras, and it became really clear to me that the event was tragic.
Demetrius Shankling wasn't homeless. his family cared. Big difference between him and I.
That it needed to be fully and independently investigated.
September 9th, the two deputies were called to 9th and Kansas.
Independently investigated. It was investigated by an outside agency. It was investigated by Longmont. I want to add that I have also records of officers telling me that I have to take it to their supervisors. I took it to their supervisors. I was told that I had to take it to this phone number and that phone number and all these different numbers. They told me that that's not the place I need to go to. Eventually, they told me to go to the Professional Standards Unit. The Professional Standards Unit in Boulder, Colorado is, well, the guy that I got to talk to was Officer Gerhardt. He and I have a history. My friend Danny, when he died behind the pedestrian shop in Boulder, Colorado, he took part in the covering up of Danny's death. They got a call at 6 o'clock in the morning saying that Danny was not breathing and unresponsive behind the pedestrian shop, and they never showed up. Myself and Tony Estasi found him dead 4 hours later. 4 hours later. People say let it go. No, if you let it go, they get to do it to someone else. That's the point. When you let them go, you are giving them the impression that what they have done is okay and they will get away with it. And guess what? They'll try it again and again and again until someone ends up dead.
Canyon in Boulder to pick up Demetrius Shankling and take him to a detox center. Shankling was reportedly intoxicated after celebrating his 23rd birthday. When the transport van arrived at the detox center, court documents say Shankling was unresponsive and not breathing. He was eventually placed on life support. He died less than a month later. The coroner's report says that Shankling died of positional asphyxia. According to the court paperwork, the transport van has 2 holding cells that can be accessed from the back doors. One cell is 7.8 feet long, but the one deputies put Shankling in was a little less than 5 feet long. Shankling was 6 feet.
Ha! Oh my God. All right. I got to show you this. This is probably the coolest thing ever. It's fucking stupid. All right. I'm going to show you guys how this is set up, and I'm going to show you guys where I was when they put me in this fucking van. All right. Let me move the alcohol. No, it's not drinking. It's fucking rubbing alcohol, and it's for disinfecting the boils on my backside. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to unplug a bunch of stuff. Alright. Let's take a look at this. I'm trying to... Is that it? Maybe. Alright, so... Right here, this is the one that Demetrius Shankling was in. This right here is a 7.88 foot one, I guess. This is the one that they put me in. Right here. That was on the 29th of August of 2018. I was supposed to have a court date with my predators. I fought hard for that court date. I tried to get it legally, but nobody would listen. Nobody listens when you're called mentally ill. So I literally had to break the law to get that court date, and then they illegally prevented me from going to it. Matter of fact, they didn't even legally serve me with papers for that. Now, where was I while my court was going on? It was in Arapahoe County. I was in Boulder County Jail on Arapahoe County warrants. And they let me know under no uncertain terms that they were going to torture me until I was allowed to leave. That they were going to keep me there I'm like, hey, I have court on the 29th. Well, call your lawyer. You guys won't let me use the fucking phone. Well, there's a phone on the wall. I don't have any money on my books. That's not our fault. You see how they prevent us from having these rights that you believe that we have? You think that we just magically get a free phone call? No, those motherfuckers told me it was a myth. They said, you don't get a phone call. That's a myth. And they get away with doing these things because there is no volume in those jails. The same as they get away with these things because there is no volume on the recording devices in the hospitals. HIPAA laws do not protect the patient. They never have. HIPAA laws protect the institution from getting sued. There is no other reason for that volume to be down. There isn't. People who have that type of position and have that much authority over other living creatures, especially human beings who are vulnerable, yeah, we don't need to be leaving that up to chance. These people are too vulnerable, and we have the technology now that it is cheaper for us to put that technology in place right fucking now than it is to continue paying out and paying out and paying out while our loved ones, or even people that we don't love, people that we don't know, people who could be us in the future if we do nothing now. Are you not getting that? Are you that short-sighted?
He was placed on his stomach with his hands cuffed behind his back, and when the door was closed, his left leg was lifted up and wedged inside the door, his pelvis raised as well, and his head pushed against the interior wall, either bent forward or tilted back.
Sort of definitive answer from the coroner's office not very long ago, in December. At that point, Mr. Doherty, our district attorney.
All right. Let's try again. All right. Oh, here's one Arapahoe County deputy arrested on domestic violence charges. Arapahoe County Jail tour. Denver area teacher arrested on charges of sexual assault on a child. Oh, guess what? This teacher is a female. Sarah Porter from 1 year ago. Yep. Let me see. Oh, here's an Arapahoe County district attorney will not charge Aurora police officer Nate Meyer.
As we first reported at 10 last night, no charges will be filed against an Aurora police officer found passed out drunk in his patrol car. CBS 4 investigator Brian Moss was the first to report on Officer Nate Meyer, who was armed at the time. The district attorney credited
This is
Brian's
one of the 17 I'm talking about, but it
today.
is same jurisdiction as
There
one.
was a story aired by CBS 4 on December the 10th. That story was broken by Brian Moss, and that is the very first time we became aware of this circumstance 257 days later.
Our Michael Abeda was at today's announcement at the DA's office. Joins us live now. Michael?
After an investigation, DA George Brockler determined that he cannot ethically charge Nate Meyer for the things he's accused of doing because he didn't have the evidence.
The bottom line is, if one of us had been in that car and not Officer Nate Meyer, you ask me, do I think it would have been treated differently? I do.
After an
All right. Let's see. Let's see. Arapahoe County Jail asks for help from state to care for inmates 10 months ago. Let's see.
Last week, this guy never stole this package off. It prevents it.
New at 10, an Aurora mother of 6 dies in the Arapahoe County Jail after being booked on a DUI complaint. Tonight, her family is reaching out to Denver 7's Lance Hernandez to find out what happened in that jail cell.
My cousin is a single parent, 6 children.
Angela Graves says family members are stunned by Monica Fite's sudden death.
You know, we just want to know what happened.
Graves, a registered nurse who works with the Department of Corrections in Maryland, says inmates there are pre-screened by medical personnel before they are put in detention. She says 2 of Fite's children told her when they called to check how much it would cost for their mom to bond out, jail staff told them their mom didn't look well, was going to be taken to the hospital.
That is what has me deeply disturbed about this. Was there a chance that her life could have been saved?
In a news release, the sheriff's office said deputies found Fite unresponsive in her cell when she didn't appear for lunch. Life-saving efforts were initiated, but were unsuccessful.
How long was she in the cell before someone checked on her? I just have those kind of questions.
Graves is wondering if Fite was injured and no one knew it, or if she had something in her system, if she overdosed.
Did she say something that clued the facility into, okay, she needs to be watched, she needs closer observation? I just want to know those things.
And that was Lance Hernandez reported. We did hear back from Aurora Police late tonight. They say Monica was involved in a minor accident Wednesday night. They took her to a detox center, had her medically checked out at a hospital before booking her.
Boulder County Sheriff's Office is now interviewing about 80 witnesses.
Nope, that's not it. Yep, I recognize those fucking cells. That's it, sure as shit. Fucking advertisements.
Interviewing about 80 witnesses to try to figure out if help would have saved the life of 25-year-old Stephanie Anderson. She died while in the Boulder County Jail in custody. And Denver 7 Sally Mamdou talked to her common-law husband. And Sally, he's speaking out for the first time on camera, and he wants some answers here.
Adam, he was too emotional to speak on camera at times. He says right now he's focusing on being strong for their 3 children and on raising funds here at a benefit that will be held a day from tomorrow at the Denver Inner City Parish to help with funeral expenses.
To make me feel happy when I'm sad all the time.
A feeling 10-year-old Messiah says he'll miss getting from his mom, Stephanie Anderson.
I feel sad.
And he's not alone. So does his 2 younger brothers and their dad.
That's my life.
A life Stephanie's common-law husband, Tino Quintana, says was cut too short. Stephanie, who was just shy of celebrating her 30th birthday, was found unresponsive in her cell at the Boulder County Jail.
The girl that was locked up with her, I finally got a hold of her. She said that she was crying, screaming for help. They just threw her in the hole.
Quintana says Stephanie was probably asking to see doctors due to a heart condition. When Stephanie initially felt ill, she was checked by doctors. However, the sheriff's office says it's not clear on whether Stephanie...
All right, here's another one.
Jail, 4 years probation. That's the punishment for a Westminster police officer accused of forcing a woman into sex acts. And tonight, a lot of people are calling that sentence nothing short of a slap on the wrist.
Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski is looking into that officer's past and how he got away with doing so little time.
Jacqueline and Shannon, this really all comes down to the plea agreement and what this officer admitted to, which was 2 misdemeanors, both of which come with far lesser sentences than had this officer been found guilty of felony sexual assault. This is the intersection where a former Westminster police officer took advantage of a vulnerable victim. But it's not what he did that's getting attention.
By the way, Westminster, what county is that in? If you guys watch the video, you'll get to see that one of my videos on YouTube is from right outside of that very exact spot that she's standing. That's right. That's where I was the day that I went to see the man that killed Natalie. I went to Joseph Michael Lopez's court date. kill two birds with one stone. I was going to fill out paperwork against the officers for their misconduct, and I was going to fill out paperwork against the Bollinger family. I was illegally prevented from doing so. I was targeted by the guards in the courtroom. The guards themselves, after Ted Bollinger went in there and threw a fucking tantrum and hid behind 6 guards and his family to talk shit like a little bitch. Those guards wanted to come over and intimidate me as if I had done something wrong by being there, or for asking for them to go with me to file a report about this incident because it is not acceptable. Ted Bollinger should not have been attacking me in a courtroom, especially not from behind a bunch of people like a fucking coward. Those officers needed to do their fucking jobs, but they didn't feel like it was their jobs. They felt like they were justified in their bullying of me in that courtroom. Not O-fucking-K.
Pension. It's his punishment that's now making national headlines and causing outrage all over the internet. One woman tweeting, 90 days. For real? That's just disgusting. Another posting 90 days because the judicial system doesn't see women as people.
The alleged conduct described in this arrest sickens my soul.
Alleged conduct so egregious, it invoked an emotional reaction from Westminster's police chief.
No, it's not evoking an emotional reaction at all from the man. His voice is droll. He doesn't fucking care. He's rather annoyed with the fact that he's got to be out there to do this over something that in his mind is something that's just completely stupid. He doesn't care. He's out there with that droll voice because his job is important to him. His voice is very droll. I'm very heartfelt. I feel bad about what happened. No, you fucking don't, dude.
Last year, Senior Patrol Officer Curtis Argenbright was accused of raping a woman in
Senior
handcuffs
Patrol
while on
Officer.
duty. The 36-year-old victim had checked
in handcuffs while on duty.
Herself into the hospital for alcoholism, and police were called after she was accused of stealing. The hospital agreed not to press charges if Officer Argenbright took her home. It was on that journey the woman claims Argenbright forced her to have sex.
No matter which way you turn these facts, the way the officer acted was...
By the way, that was from December 3rd of 2018. They later looked into it and found that, yes, he did indeed rape her on the hood of his vehicle. That was a fact. F-A-C-T, fact. But now that he's made a plea agreement, they're doing this bullshit on his... Yeah. What a bunch of horse shit. Oh my god. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Here's one. This one's from November 7th, 2019. A woman has filed a lawsuit against Boulder County and several sheriff's deputies alleging excessive force after she claimed she was struck with a taser while restrained inside the county jail in 2017. The suit accused the Boulder County Sheriff's Office of using excessive force and violating her rights for reasonable accommodations under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Disabled people. Lauren Gothel and her service dog Sage were in downtown Boulder on November 25th, 2017 and walked on the Pearl Street Mall as they made their way to her car, the lawsuit says. You're not allowed to have dogs on the mall unless they're service animals. If you're a homeless person, your service animal is not considered a service animal. If you're a rich lady with a fucking chihuahua shitting in your purse, they'll let it slide. If you're a rich person with a chihuahua on a leash and you want to call it a comfort animal, they'll let it slide. I'm wondering if I know this woman. They're in the ambulance bay. I'm familiar with that. A Boulder police officer approached her after seeing her light a cigarette, according to the lawsuit. That officer told her she could not smoke or have her service dog on the mall. All right, at this point, let's see if I can identify any of these officers. I think I know her.
They took my dog away and she's a service dog on Pearl Street. So.
I guess they're not going to show anything on that actually. So let's see some of the other ones because there's here's one.
Based on your suicide statements, you're going on suicide watch. You just made one.
You just
made
said
one.
I'll just kill myself. I can hang myself.
Yep.
Fucking.
It's not, but it's not up for argument at this point. So you're either going to go on suicide protocol.
Yay! What'd I tell you? This is the same woman. She was trying to turn in the officers for what they had done to her. And now they're attempting to use suicide watch to penalize her for speaking up.
Or you're going to go into the restraint chair, one of the two.
I was in the restraint chair.
Okay,
they
so what are you
assaulted
gonna
the
do?
fuck out of me.
The easiest is put.
Actually, let's see. Let's see if that takes me to. All right, well, it takes me to my channel. I'm sorry, I'm not signed into my YouTube channel on this computer because I can't remember it. But let's see. I'm going to type in the word George. Let's see. Oh, these are about George Floyd. George Floyd rescuing Amy's kids. Bullied to suicide. Nazi America. Little sister accompaniment. See. Ah, here it is. I guess we'll stop and play this one next because I should
on suicide watch. Okay. Well, you're not going. You're not going. You're not going anywhere. You're on suicide watch. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I am the sergeant, and you're going on suicide protocol. Yes, I can. 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 Yes, I can.
And you can see the officers smiling in the background. They're fucking enjoying the shit out of it. Especially the one who just walked up.
Yes, I can. On a suicidal statement, yes, I can. Yes, you did.
You had 4 people hear you.
What is our plan? Yeah, what is your plan?
Are you gonna get into a suicide smock?
Yes, you have to.
Well, you can put it in yourself.
Put on a smock. Legitimately, I'm telling you. Being a. What the fuck are you guys thinking? You guys are nuts! So, being on suicide protocol means that you will give us all of your clothes, and we will play. This is not a game. Your job. Play with someone else. Are you?
Be nice if they do their job. It would be nice if they would do their job. I'm also looking at this woman and I'm thinking to myself, well, she's not the supermodel type that the cops usually let go, so it does make sense why they pulled her over to begin with. It is illegal to smoke cigarettes on the Pearl Street Mall. We all pretty well know this. They usually only enforce it against the homeless, although occasionally they do enforce it against minorities who work at the Cheesecake Factory.
Are you going to cooperate? Play games with someone else. Do your job. Go.
They bully you and they intimidate
you.
you.
Cooperate. If you do not cooperate, we have to place you in the restraint chair.
We are doing our job.
Holy shit, I know every fucking officer in this video. That is so screwed up. Except for this bitchy lady in the front. I know that dude in the back, he's got a real shitty attitude, but he's good looking. This lady didn't get too much of an attitude with me. She was lippy, but ignorable. This dude here with the goatee who's all bald, that guy was such a fucking doucher. Although the dude who's the good looking one, he's the one that when he couldn't read my signature, apparently, he decided to be a douchebag to me and try to put me on suicide watch. This woman is in booking, all right? She hasn't even made it to a cell yet. She's still in the fucking smock they have you in when you first show up. Matter of fact, it looks like she's wearing a nurse's outfit and not the smock they put you in when you first show up. But this is protocol America-wide.
Should we have a suicide smoke?
There is no in the dressing room.
Well, she's gonna have to do it.
Hold on, listen real quick. This is absolutely absurd. You guys need to back up.
That's not gonna happen.
So you're asking for a position? We're asking. Take me to the hospital. You cannot touch me. I did not make any suicide statements. Take me to the hospital.
If you don't make any suicidal statements, they'll try to bully you until you are fucking full-on suicidal. So it doesn't really matter if she makes any statements right now. She tried to turn in cops. This is their fucking protocol when you try to turn in cops. Now, smoking is not something that a woman should be assaulted over. Having a service animal is not something she should be assaulted over. It certainly isn't something that she needs to be arrested over. Arrested and assaulted, that's overkill. Are you vigilantes or are you the law? If you're going to be vigilantes, then you've had your justice being vigilantes. Leave her the fuck alone. If you're not vigilantes and you're cops, then you need to not do vigilante bullshit. You need to be cops.
It's gonna go one or two ways. You're gonna cooperate with us or you're not.
I said take me to the hospital.
So that's not happening right
That's
now.
not a choice.
If you believe there's a suicide.
So if they think that she's suicidal, why are they smiling about it? They're all up on her, intimidating her, letting her know that, hey, you know what? We're gonna fucking pretend for the camera. That's what we're gonna do. We're all gonna stand here and bold-faced lie to the camera for our benefit because you tried to turn in one of ours. You do not turn in one of ours or we will stage whatever we have to stage to frame you for whatever we gotta frame you for. This is Boulder, Colorado, folks. Chances are pretty good they confused her for a homeless person.
Statement, and you're gonna pull a taser out and you're ready to fucking.
Yeah, because you're not cooperating.
Do as we say or we'll fucking shoot you. This is a white woman we're talking about here. This is a white woman. This isn't a black man. This is a white woman. This is the people that get the most leeway from police. And they're pulling this shit on her.
No, I said take me to a hospital.
But you're not going to a hospital. You're going on suicide protocol here. Cooperate.
Yeah.
Are you going to listen to me or not? All right, enough.
Now the cops are getting hostile. They're going to physically assault her.
Face the wall.
She's turning around. She's facing the wall.
Turn around and face it. Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back. Yes, we are. All right.
She says we're not playing this game.
Yes, I
Please
am.
say yes,
Put your
we
hands
are.
behind your back. Now, do it now.
This woman
Do
is
it
stupid.
now.
She thinks she has rights.
Y'all are nuts.
Put her in the chair.
They are nuts.
Turn around. Do not face down.
They're putting her in the chair. Let fuck. God, that hurts to watch.
Sit down.
Anybody got a spit sock? No, I
Sit
got
down.
one in my pocket here.
Sit down. Sit down.
They were a lot nicer
Sit
to
down.
her than they were to me, by the way.
You worry about that
Sit down. Oh, sit down.
They instigate, then they turn on the cameras. It's fucked up.
Sit down. Sit down.
Do you see this? Sit down. Sit down.
Put your leg back.
It'll happen again. It'll happen again. It'll happen again. Sit down. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
She's not resisting. She can't fucking resist. She can't resist. She can't resist. She cannot fucking resist. She can't resist.
You don't need that. Just can we go a little bit? Yeah, you care. That's not shit. You changed for no reason.
They put a bag over her head like they did to me. The difference is that the stuff that they did to me was far worse. Far worse. They allowed only the video, no audio. They made sure that wasn't allowed in my court dates. Because unlike this woman here, I did not have support. I did not have help. These officers were able to do all of these things to me and more. And unlike this woman who was able to get some help with getting the actual body cam footage so that she could show what was actually being said. I can only imagine how hard she had to fight for that. I can only imagine how much help it took for her to get that. And they're currently trying to break her arm in that view. Ah!
And cannot even sit down and
we're
follow
good.
your orders. You guys are pieces of. Look at this. Look how many people you guys are doing nothing. I'm telling you,
Stop it.
I'll tase you again.
Goddamn. Fuck you, asshole. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Shoulders.
God fucking damn it.
It's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again. You need to cooperate. Stop resisting right now.
You're not
They're fucking hurting her.
She's got your hypoglossal pressure point. Is what she had.
Oh, see, that right there, I was telling you guys, they keep on doing that. If you are not moving, they find a pressure point, start pressing on it until you fucking move, and then they say, stop resisting.
Stop. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
He's holding a fucking taser against her leg. She is strapped down. She cannot move. She can't move. Her wrists are bolted to a goddamn chair. Her waist is bolted to a goddamn chair. Her ankles are bolted to a goddamn chair. Her shoulders are bolted to a goddamn chair. Her head is bolted to a goddamn chair. And this man is holding a taser to her. And the person on her left arm is applying pressure to it, trying to hurt her.
Same goddamn facility. There's only a few seconds left of this woman's assault. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here to a conversation with George. Just got out of prison when I talked with him. Bonjour. How you doing, George? Shit, it's not very loud. Maybe I can stretch these across here. I had to buy some speakers because when I got this computer, it didn't come with speakers. Wasn't something that I thought about because all the computers I had while I was homeless, you got to get a laptop. You can't take a desktop with you anywhere. Hopefully you guys can hear this.
How's it going, brother?
Shitty.
Yeah, man. What are you, where are you now?
Chapel, Nebraska.
Oh, you're in Nebraska. Oh, that explains it. I'm in Boulder, of course.
I haven't been able to go to Boulder in years.
Yeah, I can imagine not. Yeah, I just got out. You know, I just made parole 10 days ago. I'm at the Ready to Work house on Table Mesa.
Ah.
The old carriage house set up, you know?
Yep.
Only now it's years and it's like a hotel. It's the craziest thing you ever saw. Well, maybe not. You've seen some pretty crazy shit.
I have. I spent a lot of years there saving lives. A lot of them lives are fucking nuttier than squirrel shirts.
That's correct. So how you been, man? You getting by or what?
No, sir. I haven't been getting by. They did everything they could to try to bring me up for shit that I didn't do. They even tried calling me a drug dealer, dude.
Yeah, you of all people. Yeah, that's definitely not the case.
Right?
You're about as anti-drug dealer as they come.
Exactly. Yeah. You know? Like, oh no, I smoke pot. That makes me a fucking terrible meth dealer who's always fucking junked out of his door. Have you ever seen me on meth?
No, never.
Yeah, nobody really. Train. That's the thing. Sorry about the train. Ray typed, hi Sean, how are you? I think I read that already. Not dead yet. Starmasia typed, there's such garbage. I considered moving to Colorado, but I'm not so sure now. They surely do this is everywhere. It is everywhere. The videos from Wyoming where I was telling them about the repeated assaults and the things that the police had done and the turning off of their body cameras. Nearly every police officer that I was trying to turn this into, I was explaining about the body camera thing. Police in Wyoming and Rawlins, they don't have body cameras. There were no body cameras on them. Now, that was a situation where a meth head kid, she dropped her kids off with an alcoholic and thought everything was going to be fine. Now, I went there to try to get help. Me and Rhiannon were supposed to help each other, and we had that planned out, and it was going to happen. And then meth head threw her kids into the mix. Well, luckily, her kids are safer. I had to break the law, as usual. Calling the cops ain't going to do any good when they can call you mentally ill. And although I knew that no matter what I did in that scenario, I was going to end up homeless and without a vehicle, likely stranded in fucking Wyoming in a fucking shithole town, them kids' safety was my top goddamn priority. It always is.
I mean, the time we spoke pot together, you gave me that. You didn't feel it. So,
I did. I fought hard for 64 to pass.
I mean,
and I tried explaining that too. Like, yes, I do smoke pot. I admit that I smoke pot, but I've never even sold pot, you know?
Right, exactly. We kind of just passed it around back in the day, almost free, you know?
Yeah, well, shit, dude, that's the way that it was in Boulder, you know? I mean, shit.
Sure. It's changed now, but yeah.
Yeah, everybody's on meth.
Yeah, not me. I am completely done with hard drugs, period.
Proud of you, George.
Fucking well done, dude.
Well done.
It's been a couple years now. But, it's getting kind of old, Sean. I'm 52, so.
That, and it's well, I guess, it's not necessarily difficult to get it in there, but.
Oh, no, it's just up the way. I can walk right downtown and get it. This is, in prison, it's all over the place, so yeah. But I gotta grow up, trying to get it set up so I can visit my kids.
Yep.
And, sure, I don't want to be around them like that, that's for sure.
Well, since you're in Boulder, it's kind of difficult. I was gonna. The problem is, if I ask people in Boulder to speak up or stick up for me, they tend to get harassed extra by the police.
I don't care about these police. You need somebody to sign a statement on what happened when you was in the hole. I'm all about it because I was in the hole, and that can be proved because that's where I was when that happened. Watching it,
Well,
definitely a confirmable witness.
Yeah, I kept trying to tell everybody that they were literally torturing me in the jail, and they're like, "Oh no, you're schizophrenic." I'm like, "I'm not fucking schizophrenic. Are you out of your fucking mind?" Sorry, go ahead.
I thought that when you were in that chair and they were twisting on your ear, that was Clem doing that shit.
Well, see, they wouldn't let me know the names of the officers. I remember there was an old guy with a fucking mustache that was.
Yeah, the glasses, that's Clem.
Oh my god, dude. That guy was just trying to hurt me.
I told your brother about it right after it happened.
Yeah, me and Eric haven't talked but twice since Natalie was killed.
Really?
Yeah, he don't give a shit.
Off on his trip. I talk to Mobley all the time, but I don't know. And me and Rabbit were pretty close, but he just doing his own thing.
Yeah, Mobley dropped me off. Christine dropped me off. She's got a bunch of evidence. She wanted me to use her Facebook to collect evidence and make sure that I let people know that I was using it. And then she fucking started coming down one day, took it away, and I'm like, that's got a lot of evidence of the abuse. It's got a lot of evidence that shows that I was telling the truth. It's got Bollingers up the wazoo on that fucking thing. I need that, Like it's not like I'm.
If I talk to her, I'll make sure. I've been trying to get in touch with her since I got out. As soon as I do, I'll let her know what's up with that.
Well, if you're trying to stay clean, that might not be a good idea, but she did get her own. Now, George talks about a few other situations in this, but this video is about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes long. There's also a few videos with Christine where we talk about the situation with her and that evidence that was on her other Facebook. I mean, there's a lot of evidence of the things that the Bollingers were saying and doing to me. The manipulation that they were pulling, their friend Kara Johnson Miles, a lot of the shit with Shannon Alvarado. I mean, it's a phenomenal amount. You guys can hear George talking, right? Ray typed from someone outside the States. I feel like the cops there have no feelings. You pretty much got to be a psycho to be a cop these days. If you're a good man and you become a cop, you're not going to be a cop for very long. Now, I did stop here on the news clippings to show you, just a small amount of the things that I said that, here's obviously a witness. This is a witness. Of course, how are you going to get a hold of a witness who's in prison? A lot of the people that I spoke out in public said, hey, these are witnesses to this. They were harassed extra by the police. Some of them, I will probably hear from them in fucking 5 to 10 years when they get out of prison. A few of them might even come gunning for me because they might realize that they were targeted because I said that they were a witness to the police brutality and to the immoral laws that, well, they're not laws. They broke them. They outright broke them. The police did, over and over again. They treated me worse than they treated these other people. Worse. But these other people had someone there in prison they had the luck to be minorities. So with all of this minority stuff going on, they got picked up. Their stories got heard. People cared. With me, they wanted to paint me as some sort of goddamn villain. And there's a bunch of other officer involved killings and all sorts of other shit too. I mean, it's when I told you about Clearview, I wasn't joking. When I said to look it up, I wasn't joking. This is what I got to deal with. Then there's a situation with Jamie Curtis that was going on right before Natalie died. And although Jamie was busy trying to manipulate the situation nearly everywhere I went, on the bright side, I got the evidence of it. I saved Natalie's words for a reason. I saved Jamie's words and James's words and Jamie's son's words for a reason. Jamie was playing. She didn't care whose life was affected. She didn't care about the feelings of others. She would have been a great cop in Boulder. By the way, Jamie Lee Curtis was born in Boulder, Colorado. That's right. Not the Jamie Lee Curtis from the movies, mind you. I do know that there's a lot of people that I know that have similar names to famous people. I know that William Burr, who married Jessica Martindale, he's one of the officers that's in my stories. I know that he's got the same name as... No, I'm sorry, it's William Barr. He's the one that married Jessica Martindale. And William Barr is the name of some dude who's in our government. The British people could probably tell us who that is. There aren't too many American people who can say, well, isn't he that guy who shot that other dude? Now, then there's William Burr. And that's the one that people confuse. William Burr. Bill Burr, here in town. That's the name of a state patrol officer, one of the state patrol officers that I had gone to about these officers here in town. They kept saying, you need to go to the state patrol. I've gone to the state patrol repeatedly. Over 2 years of going to the state patrol, and they haven't done anything more than the local cops have. Now, in the one with Christine, I'm telling her about how I can't go to Colorado for my own safety. And she, during that, apparently can't understand the English language. She's too busy being all up in what she wants, which is a common addict trait. This is a woman who hasn't seen her son since he was born. The reason for this is because she chose heroin and methamphetamines over her son. So she, after I explained to her that I can't go back to Colorado, which I had already explained to her a year earlier when she was coming down from heroin and was trying to destroy evidence, that's not my fault. That's not my choice. I would have liked to have better options of people to go to for help than addicts. I really would. I would have liked the option to go to the police without fear of being victimized. That would have been fucking great. So what did Christina do? She was trying to convince me that I should marry her so that she can get some land in Colorado, that's insane. That is fucking insane. I tell you that I can't go to the state of Colorado, and you want me to get married to you so you can get land in Colorado. That's just nuts. And now, like, I don't trust anything in the state of Colorado. I don't believe for one moment that if I go to Colorado and try to settle there, that I won't get fucked with by law enforcement in the state of Colorado. Not for one fucking moment. The problem is, the property that I've been able to find for my budget is in Colorado. And my budget keeps going down. I got about $3,000 to spend on property. I can buy a small chunk of desert for that almost. But I need to get my vehicle legal. I need to put gas in it. I need to get it running. And it's a big ass fucking truck. It's big. It's a dump truck. It's a 1964 cab over. It's beautiful. Ford C600 with a 390 engine in it. Edelbrock quad fucking carburetor on it. I've actually had my eye on that very specific, that very same exact vehicle, not some vehicle of the same make and model. That same exact vehicle for over a decade. It's a badass ride. It's also big enough that I can put a lot of the stuff that I need in it. A little too big for me to get in without hurting myself, but it's big enough for my stuff. It's big enough that I can put my tools in it. I can line them on either side of it. It's big enough that when people call me and say, hey man, I need help, I gotta move out of a shitty fucking situation. For the last couple of years, I've just had to tell people I can't help you move it. I don't have a vehicle. If you have people there to help you move it, you're fucking screwed. But I wasn't kidding. That's something that people just, as soon as they heard mentally ill, they wanted to pretend like these people would never do such a thing. And then when it turned out that these people were doing such a thing, they were doing it to other people. When they got away with doing it to me, they became quite liberal about doing it. Like, wow, you know, look at all the support that we had for abusing Sean Schwartz in the Natalie case. Like, fuck yeah, we got public support for hurting people. Let's do this. And look at Lalatai. What did he do? Like, people were trying to cheer him up like he was some sort of goddamn hero for assaulting me. He got a big goddamn head. And then people want to pretend like I didn't get assaulted by Lalatai. Like, because of the term mentally ill and because none of these people would allow me to make a report against him, that it's magically okay. Starmagia type Texas is selling land. If you're interested, I can look it up. Here's the thing about continually moving. I need to be close to a support network. I don't have a support network. I need to be close to a support network, and I don't even have one. Going to Texas is probably not a good idea for me. Familiarity is important. I need to be able to clear my name so that I can stop the targeting before I'm going to have a safe place. A lot of people keep trying to get me to move to somewhere where I don't know anybody. I can't do that. That place in Colorado, it's at least close enough that, well, it's about 3.5 hours drive from anybody that I know and love in Boulder. But on the bright side, it's about 2.5 hours closer than I am now. That place is 6.5 hours away. My math might be wrong, but fuck it. It's close enough. It's a long time. See, people got a lot of suggestions that completely leave out my disabilities. Completely leaves out PTSD and autism. And you can't punish autism out of me. That's the point, is that this protocol is to punish us for being different. I shouldn't have to apologize to you for being different. I shouldn't have my rights taken away just because I'm different. I shouldn't be abused over the term mentally ill, and I should be allowed to defend myself against accusations, especially when those accusations result in vigilante activities. Natalie Bollinger told some lies, and those lies turned into a bunch of rumors that got out of hand. An innocent person was being fucking harmed over it. That innocent person was me. All they had to do was prevent me from going to court. Of course, even if I had been able to go to court, it wouldn't have made a bit of difference because it would have been just me. I didn't know how to take screenshots. I didn't know how to do any of that shit. I'd have been going into the courtroom with a computer going, hey, can I borrow your internet so I can show you the evidence? My predators that I tried to turn in, they prevented me from turning them in by harming me, charging me with false charges, and making sure that all of my money was eaten up by the courts. All of it. All of it. Every bit of it. The money that I'm supposed to use to take care of myself because I'm disabled. And I can't take care of myself because all of my money for disability is going to pay the fucking courts for abusing me. To paying my fucking predators. Starmasia typed, it is, you're right about that. I don't know what I was saying when she typed that. I saw it pop up, but I was busy rambling. All right, let's see. There's more of these too. I mean, here's one. All this guy's doing is filming.
Doing fine. Thanks for asking. No. Sure, why not? You can help me. Why?
This is at the Boulder County Jail. If you guys remember the video where before they found Natalie's killer, right after the assault, they charged me with assault against an officer and locked me up. When I was finally released, I came out with 2 fucking fingers ablazing. And I've been trying to find my fingers. They always leave that part out. Ah, here it is. A lot about Natalie. You're going to have the police department send confidential information to them. Also, I've been instructed not to speak to y'all, but I got a few. That's something that really screwed me over there too, is that at this point in time, I should have completely dismissed what it is that my public pretender, Amanda Balehash, was telling me to do. She was telling me not to talk to the media. The right thing to do at that point in time was to not take her legal counsel because she did not end up doing anything useful. She ended up helping my predators because it's not her job, it's not her job, it's not her job. Same thing I keep hearing out of the FBI, out of the police, out of Adult Protective Services, out of Region 1, out of all of these people. It's not their job, it's not their job, it's not their job. It's nobody's fucking job. hundreds of phone calls with these bastards. It's still nobody's fucking job. They tell me, hey, there's a process you need to go through. It's your fault for not going through the process the right way. I say, what's the right way? They say, well, you got to call this place. I called that place already. They told me to call you. All of them do this. Same thing with all of these referral places. You know, they give you a number to this place that's supposed to refer you. They're getting money to help you the way that you're calling them for help for, but they don't want to do their jobs. Not if it's just you. There's no fucking reason to. If you're called mentally ill and it's just you, they're just going to railroad you, and God and everybody knows that. And these places tell me it's not their job, and they tell me to call this other place. And this other place can't do that job either. They're just a referral place. So they send me on to another place that's just a referral place. That gives me a referral to a place that's a referral place. That gives me a referral to a place that's a referral place. Now, my question is, while I'm going around in fucking circles getting not a goddamn thing done, where is the goddamn process supposed to start? It's supposed to start with me writing something down, right? Well, let's look at how much investigating they did when I wrote stuff down. How much of that stuff they threw away. There are inmates that I was in jail with in Arapahoe County Jail who came to me and said, hey, man, the cops are throwing your stuff away. I watched them do it. The inmate workers coming to me and saying the cops are throwing your shit away. Meanwhile, I was already pissed off about the stuff that they had thrown away in front of me. Fingers for you.
Well, do you know what happened to her?
No. You know who does?
Tell me.
How would I know? What happened to Natalie? What do you guys know? All I know is from Facebook Messenger, and I hate Facebook.
What did Facebook Messenger say?
It doesn't matter. You need to get a hold of the police and talk to them.
Well, apparently you are of interest of this poor case. So why were you a suspected interest in this case?
I was not a suspect. And you notice she's stumbling over her fucking words too. She's scared shitless. I come out there with my fingers ablazing. Blam, motherfuckers! You goddamn right I did. But you see, her words aren't coming together right. Now what happens when my words don't come together right? Well, I must be a terrible person, right? I must be. Because I'm flustered? Oh, this lady's flustered as fuck. She don't know up from down. She don't know what to fucking make of me. But her words sure as shit, damn, they ain't coming together. She might even be a seasoned reporter, but she don't sound too seasoned here, do she? Just wait till the cameraman walks into somebody's fucking vehicle. The person of interest. And I heard that. I saw it on a news report. I have not yet heard that from the police. Now, if you guys would like to, you can go contact the Broomfield Police Department and you can ask them for whatever information that you feel is pertinent. However, my rights have been violated for the last week, and you guys are seriously all up in my bubble and freaking me out. You're seriously giving me a panic attack. Well done, sir. You bumped into the vehicle.
There is one food you should always eat if you want to live to age.
Hate commercials. All right, now let's get to Ted Bollinger. We'll hit cancel on that, and we'll type Natalie. There's probably a bunch of stuff that'll come up, but let's see. The bizarre case of Natalie Bollinger, seriously strange, number 114, Rob Gavigan. And then here's one from 5 months ago called Restrained, episode 1, The Mystery of Natalie Bollinger. Here's one called The Story of Natalie Bollinger, 1 year ago. Let's see. Here's one from me. It's called Why Natalie Bollinger Was Such a Horrible Person, and her sister as well. Here's one. It says, there is no justice in this. You guys can tell when somebody's really crying and when they're faking it. I want you to listen to this. This is one of Natalie Bollinger's ex-stepmothers. This is the one who was playing head games with me and fucking... Oh my God, just wait till you guys see that shit. My case could seriously change laws nationwide. And with the way that people are looking at American laws right now, it might change laws worldwide. The way that autistic people are treated in first world countries. You can tell a lot about a country by how they treat their poorest members. So let's play this. This is Rochelle Shelley Campbell.
I can deal with it.
Now you can tell just from the very beginning the way that she speaks, she's a very selfish person.
I have to go first. You guys, I can deal with anything in life, but I go first.
She goes
I can't
first.
deal with one of you.
Mind you, I have a whole shit ton of fucking evidence that this woman is a fucking drug addict. All right, she's one of the people that I had a conversation with in Virginia over the phone. I was in the vehicle with Alicia and Natalie Bollinger. We were on our way to the Pagoda in Norfolk. This is right before Hurricane Matthew hit. And they absolutely were like, yeah, we have to go. Sean, you got to go to we're going to get some Chinese food and we're going to go to one of our favorite places and we're going to sit there and we're going to have a good evening. And that was our plan. But most of the ride there, though, we were talking to Miss Shelley, trying to get her safely away from Ted. She got a hold of me after Natalie disappeared. Matter of fact, the telephone that Alicia called me on the 29th of December of 2017, Alicia called me to ask me where her sister was. I had no fucking clue where her sister was. The last time I saw Natalie Bollinger was on my birthday in 2016 when they took me to Elliot's Coffee Grounds. This is after I've been staying behind Natalie's work where Natalie didn't work. Alicia did. She asked me to stay there. They didn't like that I was at a different Starbucks so far away. And at least if I was over there where Alicia worked and her boyfriend worked at the Starbucks, at least I was closer to visit when Alicia was able to bring Natalie to see me. Alicia quit her job right after hooking me up with that telephone, that busted ass flip phone that started all of this bullshit. Starmasia type, for me, some of the most drastic decisions were my best decisions. You don't have to do it because it could be something to consider. Yes, ma'am, and I do definitely keep my options open, but I also have to weigh the pros and cons of each. When I move, I'm told that I can't make these reports because I'm out of jurisdiction. I got to come in person. Y'all see what happens when I come in person. They straight up violated my rights as a human being in every single court date and allowed my predators to get away. And the fact that I can still prove that these people were manipulating and threatening and harassing and doing the things that I said they were doing from the beginning, the fact that I can still prove this, I just will not be allowed to and have not been allowed to. That's what needs to be fucking spoken about, especially here. I mean, these places that have been on the news, this is a news article. This doesn't count as one of the 17 places that I stayed that was on the news. It doesn't. This is just one of my predators playing victim. She's not even real crying. There is no tear at any point. Her tear ducts are not swollen. Her eyes are not red. She's fucking faking it. I mean, hell, it's damn near a laugh when she's trying to pretend she's crying.
Parent, all you want is the best for your children.
We try every day. I mean, we listen, and we just want her here with us. She never will be good.
For Natalie Bollinger's parents, all they want for her is justice.
Coming to that reality and accepting that is the hardest thing I've ever had to accept in my life.
For Shelley,
So it's just been a hell on earth.
it's too hard.
Literally, it's.
By the way, Shelley and Ted, mind you, this is the same Ted Bollinger that Natalie and Alicia were trying to enlist my help to get this woman here safe from. Natalie wanted her little brother and her sister safe. They were trying to get me to get an apartment there in Virginia. Like, they wanted me to move to where they were, and I wasn't okay with that. I wasn't. The only two people that I knew there was Natalie and Alicia, and I was not going to have them be my only support network. There's no way in hell. Those two young women, there's no way they were going to be able to handle it. Now, the one that I really want to bring up here is not actually Rochelle Shelley Campbell. It's Ted Bollinger. So that's actually the one that I'm going to look for here, because I don't want to listen to that lady pretending to cry anymore. And I haven't listened to Restrained. It's probably a bunch of horse shit too. This one, called The Story of Natalie Bollinger, is probably also horse shit. However, I think I might listen to him just in case. Now, this is an important one to listen to.
This is a family torn apart by the murder of 19-year-old Natalie Bollinger.
Hey, Grandma, it's
That's not actually Natalie's voice. That's Natalie using her baby voice. She used that when she wanted to make you feel better. Let's say you were pissed off about something. She talked to you in that voice. Let's say you were scared, like I was. She talked to you in that voice. When she talked to me in that voice, I told her it's okay, I'm an adult. You don't have to change my diapers.
saying Happy Merry Christmas Eve and love you bunch.
A powerful moment as Natalie's grandmother played her last voicemail from her granddaughter.
That's who he took from us.
Natalie's body was found in Adams.
All right, now that's her grandmother. She's also one of my predators. She's one of the people who took part in organizing the harassment against me. Along with a woman named Jennifer Farina Bollinger. The thing is that her grandma there, her name's Denise M. Kelly. And Denise Kelly is the mom's side of the family. And the Bollingers are the dad's side of the family. And they've been pretty well at war as well over this. They were saying that Rochelle Shelley Campbell, this woman that Natalie loved and was trying to get safe from Ted, Natalie and Alicia and myself, all three, trying to get this woman safe. And this woman was trying to, Rochelle Shelley Campbell, according to Denise there, was working with Ted to try to put Natalie in prison. Imagine that. They went from trying to put her in prison to, oh, we loved her so much. I would pursue prison for Natalie if she were still alive. That's not a joke. I would be pursuing prison. And if she admitted her wrong, then I'd change my mind. I'd say, hey, she admitted she fucked up. Give her leniency. Through all of this, people keep telling me to man up. Fuck you. I'm the only one with the balls to tell the fucking truth. I'm the only one with the balls to fess up when I fuck up, when I make a mistake. The only one in all of this. These other people, when they fuck up and it affects my life so greatly, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. And that's what's wrong with the world. When you do something fucked up to somebody else, it doesn't matter if you did it on purpose or not. If that has an effect on their fucking life that is negative, If you actually care about them, do something about it. Do something to rectify the situation. If you're busy trying to hide what you did fucking wrong because you're fucking embarrassed, you're destroying another human being's life through your silence. Especially if you spreading rumors is the reason that that person is abused to begin with, you need to speak the fuck up. Starmagia typed, "Oh yeah, that's not real crying. I can hear the fake from here." Indeed.
County with a single gunshot wound to her head last December. 23-year-old Joseph Lopez told investigators he shot her after responding to an ad she had placed on Craigslist looking for someone to kill her.
She struggled, she tried, and she overcame.
Her family.
That's Natalie's mom. She's the one who, between Natalie and her sister, or abusive men and alcohol, she chose abusive men and alcohol. Natalie just wanted these son of a bitches to love her, and they didn't. Natalie knew that I was the good guy in this situation, but she wanted her family to love her. Not to love her like Ted, but to love her the right way. I loved her the right way. I wasn't after sex. I cared about her well-being. Because when everybody threw me the fuck away and allowed Boulder Police Department to do whatever they wanted to do to me after I hurt my back, and they wanted to tell me to do things that I wasn't capable of doing with my back that fucked up, and then they wanted to treat me like I was a piece of shit because I was too disabled to do what it is that they were ordering me to do. And you know who came to my fucking rescue? Natalie Bollinger and Maddie Boa. That was it. Everybody else was pretty fucking words. Everybody else was bad assumptions and stupidity and ignorance, too busy telling me what to do to hear what I have to say. Too busy with their pretty memes. Natalie rescued me from killing myself.
Said she had just enrolled in college and had her whole life ahead of her. Her mom described the pain of Natalie's twin sister, who's...
So you know what Natalie did? Or do you know what her mom did? Mandy Singer, and by the way, on this here YouTube channel, Mandy Singer also speaks about this situation and why she didn't come forward. All of these people that I recorded said why they didn't come forward. And none of them, and none of these recordings are their reasons, the reasons that the cops claimed. Not a single one of them. Not even one. So she gets on my Facebook. This is after I had gotten a hold of her on the 9th of December. Say, hey, I don't know if you're Natalie or Alicia's mom, but if you are, I'm the autistic homeless guy who was honking outside of your house like an idiot last year. Fucking, I'm getting treated like a child molester and a rapist, and I didn't do either of those to your daughters. She didn't care. She didn't bother to take a look at it. Instead, she got a hold of me after Natalie disappeared to get on my fucking Facebook page on that post about Mandy Singer's son missing so that she could treat me like I was a goddamn stalker. And then she got on the post about Shauna Sinclair's daughter missing, and she wanted to be a fucking bitch there too. And then the one about Natalie missing. Despite all of the evil fucking shit that Natalie did to me when she disappeared, I did everything I could to try to help the police and her family find her and get her home safe. I offered her every fucking dollar that I had in my goddamn pocket. Courts didn't want to hear that. Cops didn't want to hear that. They had a scapegoat, and that was good enough. Alicia Bollinger, she's real pretty too. Through all of this, right from the very start. There's people saying he looks like a child molester. He looks like a rapist. He looks like a this. He looks like a that. For Natalie, it was, oh, she's so pretty. She looks so sweet. She's so beautiful. How could he do this to such a beautiful girl? They didn't care who was right or wrong. They had already made their decision by that point based on looks. Just as if I'd have been racially profiled for being black. But then again, oh God, yes. All right, one of the officers who took part in the threatening, harassing, and intimidating of me in the courtroom, Joseph Lopez's court date there. One of those officers is in the background here. And I'm going to try to show that to you. Also, this computer is getting low on battery. All right. Let's see. I don't know if that's going to film it, but that's her mom. That's Alicia Bollinger. This is one of the officers who is a goddamn asshat. I don't know his name, though. Can't zoom in that far. See, it's not a matter of whether or not I was telling the truth. It's a matter of nobody fucking cared. I could have been Jesus Christ himself, the goddamn Nazarene, and they'd have still pulled this shit.
Stood by her side in court.
Joseph Lopez has taken the light from her eyes, the smile from her face, leaving her alone in this world, battling through grief in her broken heart. Her soulmate, her best friend, and her other half was murdered by him.
Natalie's father was not satisfied with the plea deal. Ted Bollinger said he...
All right, now you guys are going to find out here in just a minute why this guy is such a fucking useless piece of shit. Now this guy got the got a tattoo of Natalie on the back of his head. There's a reason he got it on the back of his head. You really think that he could look at her face after what he did to her? Hell no. He got that for attention. It's not anywhere where it would be a private thing for him. It's something where he was trying to show some giant gesture that would make it look as if he loved his mother or his daughter more than he actually did. Oh, I would never rape my daughter. I have her tattooed on the back of my head. Well, he's probably gonna end up face down in a prison bunk with somebody pumping him from the back while looking at a picture of his daughter's face tattooed on the back of his head. Well done, Ted. Well done, Ted. You couldn't have set yourself better up for what's coming. So he's in his stripes. By this point, he's been in trouble already 3 times with methamphetamines and with an illegal firearm that he's not allowed to have. This is a man who's got a history of beating all of his ex-wives and his kids. So this guy wants to talk about rehabilitation here.
Wanted her killer to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Your Honor, this monster will not come out.
I want to tell you what I'm seeing. It says Adams County Jail, and Natalie kind of looks like a cum stain on the back of his head. That is so disrespectful. But he's in an Adams County Jail uniform for a reason.
Will not come out rehabilitated. I know, because I've been to DOC a few times.
And he's on his way to DOC again, by the way. That's because he got busted with methamphetamines a 4th time while on a high-speed chase with Alicia Bollinger, last year on my birthday, Alicia Bollinger has disappeared 3 times since Natalie was killed. All 3 times people wanted to contact me to threaten to fucking kill me. Lovely. Yeah, he's been to DOC a few times. You fuck your kids, they send you to DOC. You sell drugs to kids, they send you to DOC.
District attorney said he understands, but based on all the facts of the case, a jury may not have agreed to anything more.
I can't say that I disagree with Mr. Bollinger, and his thought.
They don't disagree with the predator. Imagine that. They don't disagree with the actual predator. Meanwhile, cops won't do a goddamn thing for me, so I gotta depend on a bunch of fucking goddamn web wingnuts who are mostly alcoholics and addicts. One of the creepiest things for me was the fact that nearly all of these places, these people are fucking into creepy shit. Sally Treons, they were watching this show about carnival fucking killers the whole time I was there. Day and night. The whole time. Shannon Alvarado, she kept wanting to show off her Nazi uniform. She's got fucking Chucky dolls all over the goddamn house. She's wanting me to wear a Jason mask so she can take a picture of it. I'm like, I don't want to put shit on my face. No, I don't want to wear the Jason mask. And by that time, she's drunk, and she's wanting to push it on me and push it on me. She was trying to force me to wear that Jason mask for about 20 minutes. Like, no, I don't want to put that on my face, Shannon. Please stop. This is something that's trivial and fucking stupid. No, I don't want to put on the fucking hockey mask. I shouldn't have to say that 30 times. When she was sober, I didn't have to say things 30 times. Starmagia type no loving dad would clown his daughter the way he did and is still doing. I agree. I'm pissed off at Natalie. I'm still pissed off, but I have every right to be. Let's see. Starred. All right. Now, lucky me, when it's been forwarded, it tells me how many times it's been forwarded. So here's some from Nebraska Social Security Administration, Katie and me, Ashley and me. Sorry about this. I'm trying to find the message from Natalie Bollinger from 2016. This is while we were still friends. All right. Apparently that's not it. 1 through 50 of 75. So we'll go to the next one. I'm sorry it's taking so long. I'm trying to fit probably a lot more in here than I should be. All right, this one's from Anna. We'll see what it says. It says, Sean Schwartz is a good man. He has never said an unkind word to me and was always appreciative of the smallest of favors. Here are the things I remember most about Sean. He would always ask to use our bathroom, even though he knew the answer would always be yes. And he showed me his amazing artwork, and I asked why he didn't sell it, and he explained to me all the permits necessary and that he couldn't afford them. And I thought that was extremely tragic. A man in that situation with that talent who couldn't utilize it was just depressing. Oh, it wants me to accept a license. God damn it. Apparently, it won't let me look at it because it wanted me to do the license agreement thing, and that's all a pain in the ass to try to get set up. Here's one that says, "My name is Andrea Hebert, and I've been a resident of Aurora, Colorado for over 30 years. I've been a friend of Sean Schwartz for over 9 years. During this time, I've had numerous interactions with Sean and can attest with absolute confidence and integrity that Sean is a wonderful person to know and love. His kindness and humility knows no bounds. Every single person he meets, he feels obligated to help them in some way. He protects the innocent. He is quite often mistaken as a man of poverty, but nothing can be further from the truth of his character. He is not poor from laziness or lack of working, but because he donates so much of what he earns to others in need. He selflessly leaves himself very little. He is quite often mistreated and falsely profiled, yet he continues to live his life for others despite being abused for most of his life. Sean will always be welcome anywhere I am welcome." Here's one from Tony. That's Tony DeStassi. Oh, that one's another one of the Microsoft Word ones. This is from Lilithu Krishnadas. This is this is Miss Peaches, aka Kayla Trujillo. These people did type some stuff. A lot of these people had a lot of interactions with this situation that they didn't type about. I really needed them to. But there's also the fact that when I tried to have police take a look at this and do something about this, they tell me, well, how do I know that you didn't write that? How do I know that's not a fake account? You know, how do I know? How do I know? How do I know? And if you guys look back at the situation with the Maggie Scott letter, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's how police treat this situation. Maggie Scott did write that, and she did verify that she wrote that. The problem is that the cops, they wanted someone to fucking victimize at that point. They don't care what you have to say or what you have to show. Maggie wasn't too happy either. She wrote, Lilithu Krishnadas type to whom it may concern. Sean Schwartz is a very complex individual. I've known him since 2003. I met him in Boulder, Colorado. I was young and on the streets. For as long as I've known him, he has always been gentle and caring spirit. He has advocated for the homeless tremendously and has saved countless lives. He has always been selfless and sweet. I'm aware he is touched on an autistic spectrum and has Tourette syndrome. Even still, he always has people's best interests in mind. I know that he has been harassed and assaulted by the police on multiple occasions, and he attributes it to profiling. I don't believe he is wrong about that. There he may have been a few things that have occurred, of which he has done that he ought not to have, but regardless, he did not deserve to be treated as an animal. He is an American citizen and deserves to be treated as such. The events that have taken place in not only this world, but his have been tragic. It would traumatize any human being. I feel he has handled it quite well considering. He has a troubling past, and I know he is advocating for euthanasia to be legalized. I don't blame him after what he has been through. He has lost everything multiple times. He has been wounded physically on multiple occasions. He has been stalked and tormented for years. I, for one, would like to see a positive change in the police force pertaining to the homeless, as well as how to properly deal with the mentally ill. I personally have had a lot of negative interactions with the police, both as an adult and an adolescent. Back in 2003, my first interaction with the police when I was 14, I and two other adolescent kids were held at gunpoint. My friend was hit with a stun gun for suggesting the officer's actions were unnecessary. I have seen them use excessive force unnecessarily and even deadly force. Perhaps a revamping of protocol is necessary. This has been ongoing since my family moved to Colorado from Nevada in 1999. As far as Sean is concerned, he has had evidence pertaining to the death of the young woman and has been trying to write a statement to the police with a lot of helpful evidence, but was shunned as a pariah and made out to be a menace. His character was slandered and shamed. The legal system has legit taken away his voice and replaced it with harassment and assault. He could have saved more lives and prevented multiple unfortunate incidences from happening. Instead, he was treated poorly, to say the least, then shooed away like a nuisance. His information could have proven to be invaluable. Bringing awareness is the first step to bridging the gap between civilian trust and police cooperation. I would like to see an outcome which is beneficial to all parties concerned. Please feel free to contact me at this email address if you have any inquiries. Thank you for your time. This one is from Nicole Knudsen. I know her from here in Chapel, Nebraska. She types, "To whom it may concern, Sean Schwartz has always been very good to me. I have known him since I was a little kid. And here in Chapel, Nebraska, you can have friends that are kids. You can be friends with their parents too. Isn't that cool? But you can't do that in Boulder. It's a completely different scenario. Here, the reason that I was friends with Jenny and Tyler and Donnie is because I was friends with their mom. Anyway, she types, "To whom it may concern, Sean Schwartz has always been very good to me. I've known him since I was a little kid, and he has always helped me or anyone when he had the ability to help them, emotionally or monetarily. He always gave me advice about useful stuff when I was a teenager. A couple of years ago, my family and I were looking for my sister because we all live in different states. We could not find her, so I asked Sean to help us, and he did everything he could think of to find her. When we found out she was in jail, he went to Jefferson County Jail from Boulder, Colorado to see her. Actually, I went from Chapel, Nebraska to Jefferson County Jail to see her. But we'll get back to the story. It's not my story, it's hers. To see her and offer some emotional support, and to also let her know that her family was looking for her and that we love her. He always does what he can for others. That's just who this man is. I have never known him to rely on anyone but himself for the things he needs. He is a very loving and kind man who just wants to help people and make the world just a little better every day." Nicole M. Knudsen. Boogers. I hate boogers. They're nasty. Here's one from Marie Sarah. This is Marie Sarah, pharmacymom525@gmail.com. That's Mandy Hughes. She didn't know why Maria Sarah was on there, but she never changed it back. But she wrote, "To whom it may concern, I'm writing you on behalf of Sean Schwartz. I met Sean about 6 months ago. He is a very quick and witty man. He at first was very afraid because he had been attacked mentally and physically so many times this past year. Sean has autism and needs to hear voices. Yes, I need to be schizophrenic, apparently. Right? It's a typo. It's fine. I probably shouldn't make fun of it. She really was very good to me. She just didn't understand that she needed to go in with me or none of this mattered. It's not that people didn't make any effort. It's that no matter what efforts were made, if it wasn't going in with me in person, it wasn't going to matter. And no matter how many times I explained it to these people, they didn't seem to get it. If you're not there, then they turn off their body cameras, and it's their word versus mine. If you're there, they turn on their body cameras, and they treat me a little bit more humane. Anyway, she types, I'm writing you on, let's see. Sean has autism and needs to hear voices and needs quiet. He is so full of knowledge, he sat and taught my daughter about bugs. Sean has been put through hell this past year and his name dragged through the mud for something he didn't do. People attacked him left and right. I beg you, someone, to calmly sit with Sean and see all of his evidence. Nobody ever tried. Nobody ever made the fucking effort. Now, she wrote this December 27th of 2018. Let's see. I beg you / someone to calmly sit with Sean and see all of his evidence he has and a lot of the truth. I feel these emails are eerie from Natalie speaking from the grave about what her father did to her, and someone needs to read them and listen to them and understand rather than blame Sean. Sean is not a perfect person. None of us are. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has imperfections. But Sean is a genuinely good person with a huge heart and will give you his last dollar or the shirt off his back, anything to help you. He just needs to be heard. I am definitely not fearful any way, shape, or form of him. Neither is my family. He is truly a genuinely amazing guy. He has just been pushed and pushed and pushed and threatened so many times. Like I said, no one is perfect. Sean needs help finding a stable place to live, food in his mouth, and a warm place, along with maybe counseling to help him get over some of the stuff and the abuse that he's had to deal with this last year. But someone needs to listen to him. He is a human being. And for whatever reason, no one will listen. And they chalk him up and just kind of tossed him to the side. He's a human. He deserves to say his piece. He's very intelligent and has so much knowledge in that head of his. But he does have severe panic attacks where he gets scared, and he also has autism, and people don't seem to listen to that. Again, none of us are perfect. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has screwed up time to time. But I beg you to just listen to Sean and what he has to say. Look at the evidence and please try to help him rather than sending him out into the cold and dismissing him. He's a human being with a great heart. I would do anything for him. Well, anything except go in with me, apparently. You kind of get the point here, I hope. The police weren't going to listen to anything from me. If you guys sent me stuff, then that's a start. At least I have a record of it, in case the police won't do anything. There's also a lot of stuff here that the police don't have. They just didn't care. There's stuff from Joseph. Hell, there's even more here. I mean, there's a lot. I had to scroll through a bunch of evidence just to get to that part. Let's see. Gookin Law, Web Note Abuse, Gookin Law, Greyhound, Carey, Fran Cook. I'm trying to find the one from Natalie. Here's one between me and Rob. Here's the PetSmart pre-screen assessment. When I was in Virginia, Natalie sat down with me to try to try to help me fill out some job applications. Like I said, sit down with me and teach me in person, please. She sat down with me and taught me in person. I didn't find out until after Natalie was dead that they actually accepted my application to PetSmart in Virginia. All right, this one's been forwarded 65 times already. This is from Natalie Bollinger. She types, okay, so I guess I'll start from the beginning. So my mom left when Alicia and I were 3. She was 19 and married to my father. He was cheating and beating her. My dad told her that he was going to kill her if she didn't leave. So she left us as well. By the way, she sent this on Saturday, July 30th of 2016 at 9:11 p.m. So she left us as well and moved to Rhode Island. This is where Bobby Forrest is from, and he actually verifies this as well. So does Samantha Danielle, and her conversation with me is on here as well. All of these people are pissed off at me for recording it and putting it up, but the thing is, they needed to come forward in court. They needed to speak up, write a police report, do something other than tell me they're fucking sorry. Now, it's not that I wasn't trying. It's there wasn't nobody looking. Let's see. My dad was in and out of jail, and somehow, that's Ted Bollinger, by the way, my mom heard he was facing prison time. Alicia and I were 8 at this time. My dad was in the run, and my mom shows up. I knew who she was, but I was told awful things about her my whole life, that she burnt me with cigarettes, etc. But part of me knew knowing it was true. She's not any better at typing really than I am. She's just better with the phone. So please forgive the fact that she doesn't have perfect grammar. But part of me knew knowing it was true. I was being raised by rich wolves. My mom fought for us for months. She got custody because we were being raised by awful humans. I was happy to leave, but I didn't know this woman I was calling mom. I had a brother I'd never met, and I hated him. My mom left our family and started a new one. He was a baby, so I didn't hate him for long. My dad moved to Rhode Island running. We went back and forth between them for years. My mom would lose us for having dangerous men around. Then we'd go back to my dad until he'd start doing drugs again. My dad got custody of us. He wasn't allowed to drink because he becomes demonic, but he's my dad, so of course he did. He was having an affair at the time. And I was woken up my screams from my stepmother, Shelley. They has 2 children by this time. He had been drinking and was trying to kill Shelley. He was hitting her face on the curb repeatedly until she wasn't moving. There was much more, but yeah, so my mom got custody for a long time. Then she married this very abusive man. It got to the point where the judge said she wasn't allowed near of us children. Said he wasn't allowed near of us children. But he scared my mom, so she still let him live with us. Meanwhile, my dad moved back to Colorado. He came and proved he was there and took Alicia and I. Shortly after, he had us selling drugs for him at 13/14. He was hitting us and doing drugs with us, while being a little too friendly. Those of you who know what a little too friendly means, please raise your hand. Those of you who don't know what it means, you're fucking stupid. Anyway, so she types, So my sister told on him. This was while I knew you at the park. What's the park? Well, that's what the area outside of the Boulder Public Library is called. The area in between the art portion on the south side of the creek and the municipal building. That area is what's called the park. That's where they sold drugs for their dad. When I talk about them selling drugs on Pearl Street, by this point, the Pearl Street, as it was, had moved to the park. So when I'm referring to Pearl Street, I'm referring to the situation. I mean, they moved it from the mall to the library, but the mall used to be, but the Pearl Street Mall used to be with the gatherings and all of that. That's not the point, I guess. But anyway, she types. Let's see. This was while we knew you at the park. And by the way, I didn't even know their names at the park. There was a situation that ended up happening with a guy named Arturo and a guy named Emery, where they were not doing appropriate things with those two girls. I told them they needed to go home, and that was the last time I saw them for a lot of years. Anyway, she typed, we were put in foster care. My mom had moved to Virginia to get away from her husband, and we were in and out of foster homes. I hadn't spoken with her in a year or so before I asked her to come get me. They were going to hold me in a group home until I was 21 because I wouldn't stop getting high. We moved to Virginia, and I think you know the rest, but that's most of my story. There's a lot of this. There is so much of this. No, I'm not crying. I'm tired. It's just I know that's not a me hiding my pride thing. If I cry, I cry. I fucking admit it. This video is 2 hours and 27 minutes long, so I'm sorry for going off as long as I have. I'm sorry I talked as long as I did, but the skills I have allow me to do this on Facebook and on YouTube, sort of. Here on YouTube, I don't have the skills to do much more than talk here and take stuff and hold it up for you to see. Like I do that so much with my telephone. I'm trying to add more skills, but it's difficult for me to learn while I'm under an extreme situation, and I've been in an extreme situation for 4 years. A lot of those people who wrote those messages, by the way, they don't talk to me anymore. There's more of them though. There's one from Joseph. There's the one from Tony, of course. The one from Anna. There's one from King of Nichols. I mean, there's a lot of these. The problem that none of these people got was that nobody was going to listen unless they went in with me. Nobody was going to look at the evidence unless they went in with me. Oh my God. Anyway, I continue to have physical issues because of the way that I was treated. I still have problems stepping on and off of a curb. I have problems going up and down stairs. I have problems with my right wrist quite often, and on 3 of the injection sites from them putting these drugs in me, I repeatedly have infections over and over and over again. And they're painful. They're painful to sit on. I don't want to nastify you guys out too much, and I know that if I showed the video of, I've literally had to pop 2 of the boils every day for the last 3 days. And it's not pretty. It's really gross. And I did videotape it. I try to tape as much as I can. But I didn't post it up here on YouTube because obviously it's on my backside. You're gonna see parts that are not okay on YouTube. I can't possibly jump through all the hoops they want me to jump through. I can't possibly defend myself against these predators. My disability isn't autism. My disability is your assumptions. My disability is PTSD from your assumptions. My disability is abuse from your assumptions. Autism doesn't make me suffer, you do. Star Magia typed, got a rest now. Take care, Sean. You too, Star. Good night and be safe. Maybe tomorrow we'll get into some of the other places I stayed.